Hi there, it's Kimball Sargent, your self care coach, and welcome to another class on how to create your wellness home, your wellness sanctuary. And we've talked about the air in your house and different things, but you know what? Today we are going to talk about what is seen as the biggest contributor to your health, more important than diet, more important than exercise, more important than your heredity. Do you know what that could be? It's your sleep. You know, what I talk about all the time and what I teach is self care. I'm not doing anything that is medical to treat anything. You know, what I talk to you about are the things that you can do as self care so that you can avoid the doctor. Wouldn't you agree that staying healthy and not needing the doctor is really what wellness is about? It's not about getting sick and getting better. So, what I'm teaching you is self care, which is an active process, and it's your choice. And I want you to think about sleep. I don't know if you've ever heard of William C. DeMint. He is a doctor and a PhD at Stanford, and he's really known as the father of sleep medicine. And what he said was his healthy sleep has been empirically proven to be the single most important determinant in predicting health, more important than diet, exercise, and heredity. That's pretty important. And I don't know if any of you, a couple of years ago, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, he's on the TV all the time now with this pandemic, but he did a great documentary on CNN called Sleep. He did it back in 2015. And guess what he recommended? And I'm a big fan of exercise. I get up every morning and exercise for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But he says if you have an extra hour to sleep, that you extra hour to exercise, that you should choose it to sleep. Now that's pretty important because we all know how important exercise is. Well, the thing is that being sleep deprived has been correlated with Alzheimer's, with cancer, with heart disease, with ADD and ADHD, all these big things. So I'm going to ask you some questions and you think about this and then you tell me, because if you have any of these issues that I'm about to ask about, then you really could use a consult and to create a sleep plan. Do you need an alarm to wake up, or do you just wake up naturally? If you need an alarm, there's a problem. When your body has enough rest, it wakes up on its own. Do you rely on snooze button? Snooze is bad. When that alarm goes off, if you're rested, you're ready to get up. If you're relying on snooze, your sleep has not been complete. Do you find it hard to get up out of bed and just feel sluggish? That's not the way it should be. Are you sluggish in the afternoon? If you are, then you probably haven't gotten a good night's sleep. And do you get sleepy in meetings and lectures? And how about on Zooms? Are you drowsy after meals? Do you need a nap to get through the day? Now, I'm a big proponent of people taking naps. Naps are really good for our health. But the idea is to take the nap to give yourself a little boost. It's not because you're so sleepy you couldn't make it. Do you fall asleep watching TV? Do you try to get more sleep on the weekends because you haven't gotten enough during the week? And do you fall asleep within 5 minutes? Well, if you answered yes to more than one of those, then the likelihood is that you are not getting the good, rich, quality sleep that you want. Now, I'll tell you what a lot of Americans do. They reach for sleeping pills. There's some over-the-counter things they can use, or they run to their doc. Well, you know what? Sleeping pills are not really a great answer. There are 13 sleep meds, which include Ambien and Lunesta, that have a really serious warning on the box by the FDA that they can cause strange effects. And there are definitely people that take those medications and do things. There's eating while asleep, there's driving while asleep. Sleep meds are a last resort and should only be used for short periods of time. You know, some people choose to try to overcome the lack of sleep by all these energy drinks, the monsters, and all of those that have super amounts of caffeine. Well, it's bad for your cardiovascular system. It is bad for your blood pressure. It's just not good. So, can we agree that sleep is a problem for many people? So, why can't you sleep? You know, some people tell me that, Kimball, I lay down and I just can't relax. Some people say, well, you know, I've got all these aches and pains and I lay down and I just feel them all. Some people find that there's a big fluctuation in temperature. And I will tell you, women go to bed hot and wake up cold. Men go to bed cold and wake up hot. You know, sometimes it's being in that same spot. People just can't do that. Their body feels heavy. Sometimes it's breathing issues when they lay down to sleep. And sometimes a lot of it is having a hot head. We think of hot head as angry, but you know what? When you lay down to sleep, a lot of times people's heads feel hot. So, you know, we've got to figure out, you know, what is really going on with this, and how much sleep. I mean, how are we missing it? Well, in the United States, they say that sleep deprivation is a national epidemic. 7 out of 10 Americans have a problem with sleep. 63% are getting less than 7 hours. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you, 7 hours is not enough. And if it's less, they're way out of whack. 15% have a severe problem with this. Check out this number. 69% of children have sleep problems. And sleep problems are correlated with ADHD, poor performance in school, behavior issues, all of that. There are over 3,000 sleep clinics in the United States. So can we agree? If you live in the United States, you or somebody you know most likely is dealing with a sleep problem. One night's poor sleep drops your immune system by 60%. Well, you know, right now there's a pandemic going on, COVID-19, and we know that this is a very serious condition. We want our immune systems to be as strong as possible because there's no treatment and there's no cure. The only thing that you have going for you, and this is true with every illness, is to have a strong immune system as possible so that your body will be able to deal with any kind of illness that it encounters and help bring you back to a healthy state. A third of your life is spent sleeping. A third. Now, when I was younger, I thought that it was a wasted amount of time. But you know what? That's really not true. Because sleep is needed. And I have learned I love going to sleep. I love doing my bedtime ritual. And I love laying down to sleep. And I love it when I wake up in the morning and I feel good. Now, I told you I'd tell you how much people need, right? So this is just kind of spread. But adults need 7.5 to 9 hours. So those people that are getting less than 7 hours, they're in deprivation. Teens need 8.5 hours to 10 hours. And that's a real problem because most teens find sleep to be unproductive. And many of our teens right now are online at night, in the middle of the night, texting and watching videos, and they're not getting this sleep. And kids from age 1 to 12, they need a minimum of 10 hours of sleep a night. That's a lot. Just think about it. Are your kids or you getting the right amount of sleep? There are 5 cycles that we go through at night, and you need all of those to promote good brain health, good body function. Now, what does poor sleep cause, you say? You know, I never heard of anybody going to the doctor and being diagnosed with poor sleep. Well, they won't be diagnosed with a poor sleep necessarily. But there are all kinds of illnesses that are correlated with it. Number 1 that I'm going to talk about is obesity, and that's in adults and children. And obesity is an epidemic in our country, and it is related to every illness just there is. Diabetes, it messes up your ability for your body to handle glucose. Now, we also know that diabetes is an epidemic in our country. Heart disease, anxiety, depressed mood, problems with immune function, and alcohol use. So, poor sleep can result in a lot of problems in your life. Now, there's some myths out there. Like, if you have 1 hour loss of sleep at night, it won't affect anything. Well, let me tell you, twice this week I had to help my husband with projects that he had to do, and I lost about an hour of sleep from what I usually get, and I'm still suffering from those effects. Your body adjusts quickly to different sleep schedules. Absolutely not. We know from research that people who do shift work and are changing their sleep schedules regularly are prone to die earlier. And extra sleep at night cures a day's fatigue. Nope. You know what? You do have a sleep bank, and what you do over time really does make a difference. Having a regular sleep schedule is absolutely imperative to good health. And you can make that choice. You make the choice as to how you sleep. So, what are you looking at sleep? A good quality sleep means that you have restful, sound sleep and you wake up feeling rejuvenated. That is what you are looking for. You want to work on this on a regular basis. Sleep gives you the fuel that you need to be productive. If you are not getting that fuel, I mean, it's just like gas in your car. If you don't have gas in your car, are you going to be able to go anywhere? You're not. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and then we're going to figure out if you are having sleep issues or not. So if you've got a piece of paper and a pen, write this down. And if you don't get to do this because you haven't got that, you can come back and watch this again. You're going to never will be number 1, and 10 will be always. So when you first wake up, you feel groggy. So is it never, always, or somewhere in between? When you get up, your muscles are stiff. Never, always, or somewhere in between. Remember, never is 1, always is 10. When you get up, you have limited range of motion. In the afternoons, you feel tired and sleepy and low on energy. When you're sitting, you get still and uncomfortable. Remember, 1 is never, 10 is always, can be anywhere in between. During the night, you toss and you turn. Always, never, somewhere in between. During the night, you don't get enough sleep. You wake up. This morning I was in a meeting and a woman said she was up for 3 hours during the night, and that's not normal. And your level of body discomfort, rate it 1 to 10. Now, once you've done that, I want you to add your score. Now, if your score is over 16, then sleep is an area that you need to work on. Now, this is the first part of my class on sleep. We're going to go deeper into this next week and talk about some solutions, because I don't think you should ever point out a problem unless you're going to come up with a solution. So if you want more tips and more information on this kind of thing, I'd love for you to go to my Facebook page, Wellness Solutions Today. And if you like it, it'll stay in your stream and you'll get to see tips that I give. And I try to give tips and videos and different things all during the week to help you be your own self-care advocate. You can also visit my webpage, which is https://www.wellnesssolutionstoday. I also offer free wellness assessments, and we go through all of the different self care habits you have, and I can make simple, effective recommendations that will help you live a better level of wellness. I want to thank you for your time today. I want to encourage you to sleep well and be well, and I hope you'll join me again next week.